Devin Hester, you are ridiculous.
The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Shut up. See that? That's your IQ, buddy. 0.
Hungry Chicago, finally champions on this January day in New Orleans.
This is the Barely Qualified Podcast with your hosts, Nick Labris, Jason Maxwell, and Drew Bailey.
Hello again, and welcome back to another episode of Barely Qualified. My name is Nick Labris, and with me, as always, is Drew Bailey and Jason Maxwell. Boys, the Chicago Bears win streak is officially over, thanks to a demoralizing loss to the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday, 30-16. On tonight's show, we're going to recap the Bears-Ravens game. We're going to talk a little around the league, some injuries, some results of games, and then, of course, we're going to finish things up with our podium list. But before we get to that Bears-Ravens recap, I want to tell you a little bit about our friends over at Lola's Handcrafted Churros in downtown Lisle. Lola's offers up handcrafted churros from scratch, made to order, piping hot. It doesn't stop there. Lola's pairs these bad boys with ice cream sundaes. I'm talking about s'mores churro sundae, matcha fruity pebbles, Nutella, strawberry, the list goes on. Get a sundae, get a dozen. Just stop for one. Whatever you do, you're going to love it. They have coffee, horchata, freshly made churros, ice cream. As a wise man once said, what more can you want? Check them out at Lola, L-O-L-A, churros.com. Follow them on Insta and TikTok at Lola's Handcrafted Churros and let us know how you like it. So let's get into the game. But really quick, before we talk Bears Ravens, I do want to put something out there for the people in the chat. We are going to be having our live reactions to our Down to the Wire Guillotine League wrapping up this week. We got about 5 teams that it could be right now. So it's a close battle. Jason and myself are in it. Drew, to a certain extent, is also kind of on the block. I think that the Kelsey touchdown kind of solidified Jay for now, but we'll see. We are right in the thick of it. So you will hear some live reactions regarding our Guillotine League as we see it unfold on Monday Night Football. So now that is out of the way, Bears, I have Commanders written down here. They played the Ravens. Bears-Ravens recap. So I think the easy way to summarize this game is that the Bears lost a very winnable game to the Lamar Jackson-less Baltimore Ravens. I don't know about you guys, but I was watching this game, and basically, once the Bears, we'll talk more about this, but once the Bears settled for that second field goal, I really didn't have a lot of faith the Bears were going to win this game. It just didn't really feel like it because, I don't know, let's just get into it, because if you look at the offensive statistics, like if you didn't watch any of the game and you pop up the stats, you say, not a bad game, right? It's really, statistically speaking, on offense, not bad. I do think the story of this game starts and ends with the Bears' inability to finish drives in the end zone. That's, in my mind, that's where this game, if you're going to talk about this game, that's where it starts, that's where it ends. The Bears absolutely dominated time of possession in the first quarter. They won 12, they had over 12 and a half minutes of possession to the Commanders, just barely 2 minutes, which is only 3 plays. But the Bears finished the first quarter up 6-0. They were unable to build a sustainable lead. And then the Ravens score a touchdown on their first drive of the second quarter, which nullified all of the possession work and all the good work the Bears offense had done in the first quarter. So it's just, honestly, it's like a psychological thing. If you're playing on that team, you completely dominate a team for an entire quarter, and then the Ravens have one good drive and you're losing. That's what I was kind of talking about at the top, is that the inability to put the ball in the end zone to start the game. I felt like that was just a losing recipe right off the bat. So I'll stop there for a minute. I don't know, did you guys, what were you guys' thoughts on the first quarter? Jay, where were you at with the first quarter of this game?
Yeah, I feel like it's just copy paste of what's been happening. Is you come out of the gate hot, but not being able to convert and actually get in the end zone was like you said, Nick, so critical. And the whole offense looked great. They're rocking off chunk plays. I think they had like 8 first downs on their first 2 possessions. But you get into the other side of the field, in the Ravens side of the field, and into the red zone even, and these penalties start creeping up, and false starts and holdings, or intentional groundings, and it's like these negative plays are just punishing us at the worst possible times, leading to 3 points rather than 7. And this team's not good enough to not score, to come away with 3 points like that.
Right.
Because you're right. Like, it was an absolute domination of the first quarter, and to only go up by 6 points it just left way too much on the board. So I was with you, Nick. As soon as that happened, I was like, oh boy, this is not going to be sustainable. We know that this Bears is going to fall flat in the second and third quarter. They've been doing it all year. That's exactly what happened. So not the way you wanted to start. Honestly, the first possession though was like, okay, shit, we might dominate this game, right? Caleb,
right.
I think we had 4 plays over 10 yards in the first like possession or 2. So it was like this chunk plays that were happening and just couldn't convert.
Yeah. Drew, I don't know. Like, did you feel the same way about the Bears having to settle for field goals? Did you think that they were kind of doomed at that point, or were you kind of just like, okay, 6-0, let's just keep building off of this?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously in the moment you like points, but you feel very reserved about what can happen in an NFL football game. As we saw, all it took, obviously 2 field goals, all it took was 1 long drive by them, and it felt like the game was pretty much out of our hands in the second quarter. And then you give them a 3 and out, and the game is totally out of range, it seems like. Cairo Santos missed field goal at the end of first half, and you're looking at the most negative possible result in a flip-flop of a first quarter to a second quarter. And I mean, I was doing a lot during this game. And I have to say, like, I really became disinterested after they kicked 2 field goals. Like, we had our family over, we were watching on and off. I was grilling out for them, and I saw 2 long drives. I'm like, holy crap, this is going to be a blowout. And then when you saw 2 field goals and that, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to watch, because I know what direction this is going, like you said, Nick. So it brutal to have that much success on 2 drives and come away with 6 points. I mean, no points would be worse, but to come away with 6 points, that's got to be the number one talking point for Ben Johnson. And I know he's probably going to drill that home, but it's good to see stats, but those stats gotta include touchdowns. Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it is at the bottom line. I mean, that was one of my big keys to the game going into this game, was make sure you finish in the end zone, get touchdowns. And I mean, I'm not trying to, I don't think I called anything. Like, that's just like a key to every football game you play. You don't want to settle for field goals. This team has a tendency to kind of fall flat after the script runs out in the first 2 drives or so. So those 2 drives, it's imperative that you put it in the end zone, because you don't know how many more good sustained drives you're going to have throughout the game. And then so talking about the Bears kind of falling apart after those first 2 drives, like I said, the Bears dominated time of possession over 12 and a half minutes to just over 2 minutes in the first quarter. And then the Ravens ended up winning time of possession. The final 3 quarters, 28 minutes to like 16 minutes. So just really after that first quarter, just could not do anything. But it is weird, because if you look at the stats, like, again, Caleb he was 25 for 38, 66% completions, 285. He didn't have any touchdowns, obviously, and he threw a pick, but like the yards and the completion percentage, like, those are pretty decent numbers. I mean, obviously you throw for 285, you're going to have some decent receivers with good yards, but like, that's why I said at the top, like, if you just look at the stat sheet at the end of this game, you think like, oh, that must have just been a close game. The Bears couldn't hang on they fell off at the end or something, but they had that game right where they wanted, and then they just settled for field goals. So that's my problem.
So, and it's interesting too, because on the Caleb stuff, like that is a stat line that on paper doesn't read poorly. Like 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, that's not great, but they only turned the ball over one time. 285 yards, a 66% completion rate. Like that's serviceable. That's moving the football. That should be okay. Right. But in hell, Paul even was texting us like, why is everyone on Twitter shitting on Caleb? But like I didn't see the game, but the stat line looks fine. The eye test of that game was stinky as hell, though. Like that was just it was not a good game that he played. There was a lot of errant balls and bad decisions. So it was the things like, hey, you know what? It's 3rd and 4, and we're in field goal range. I'm going to take an intentional grounding, like a fucking weirdo. Like it was like a clown or a gorilla on roller skates, just like freaking the fuck out. It's like you can't do that right now. This is like the time you need to like check down, throw the ball away, and not take that lost play. And it was, and I think that's what was kind of hidden in the stat sheet. It was like the worst possible times to take negative plays or make bad mistakes is when they showed up. And even at the end of the game, like we're trying to get in the end zone. It's like I was watching this with Sam and Jamie, and the announcers. Caleb tries to do a hurry up, like sneak on 3rd. He's like, oh no. So like literally what the announcer just screamed it like he couldn't control himself. Oh no, you can't do that. It's like, no, you're right. You can't. That's like the one thing you couldn't do. So it was just I gotta say, like we were saying before, what are the keys to the game? If Caleb can have a B game, the Bears should win this game. He didn't have a B game. He had like a D game, in my opinion, even though the stats might say otherwise, but that's my 2 cents there.
Yeah, I mean, to add on to that, not only was it just poorly timed mistakes, like the intentional groundings specifically, and that was an S at the end of it. If you didn't catch the game, there were multiple. It just seems like, and we're 7 games into a new scheme. He's a second-year quarterback. So I don't know, actually, I don't know if we didn't talk about this in the show last week, but a stat was going around the internet about how Caleb's first 6 games under Ben Johnson are remarkably similar to Jared Goff's first 6 games under Ben Johnson a couple of years ago. So I think that there is a little bit of like, it's a little bit of a learning curve we're still on because Ben Johnson's offense is complex. But there were just some throws where it seems like there's easy stuff out there to be had. And it seems like he's trying to make the big play all the time. And like we saw a lot of that last year, specifically when he would try and escape and go deep instead of just, dumping it short. But it does seem like he's got like shallow crossers or something that's pretty open, and he's like waiting for like the deep stuff to open up, and it just like doesn't. And you look at that interception he threw to Rome like late when they got the ball back down to score, and like, okay, this is the time. And he threw a pick like right away. And, you can't get too mad because he doesn't really throw a lot of picks, but that was a bad throw, and he had people open that he could have had. And even if like the throw that Caleb threw, like Rome is like running, it's the Chiefs or the Ravens are playing zone, and he's about to go to another zone. So he has to stop, but the corner that was trailing him like kept coming. So like there was like really like literally a football sized window you could put it in. And even then it wasn't going to be a good throw. Yeah. So the decision making, you got to question it. It's clear that he's comfortable throwing to Rome, but we need to be able to like find the open receiver and find the play that is there, not necessarily go out and make a play that isn't there.
You're right too. And Nick, the shitty part on that, which does fall like squarely on Caleb's shoulders, is there was no lack of time or pressure on that. Like he could have had a fucking tea party back there. He had all the time in the world in a very clean pocket. And you watch, I didn't watch the tape, but you got to imagine that either there's someone else that's open because this man is running into a zone that's going to be double covered, or just do something else with the football. But down, and I get it, down a couple scores, you sometimes do have to play that hero ball, but there's something cleaner out there, and you need to be able to process quicker and understand how to be safe with the football, and not have to force things. I mean, it's one thing if there's no time left and you're forcing a Hail Mary, but it's another when you're throwing a 8-yard out, but it's not necessary. It's just not necessary to make that decision.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. I definitely think that the Ben Johnson offense, like there's always like somebody that's kind of like your release valve, right? And it's just like you need to go that route a little bit more. Positive yards you always want positive yards, right? That's like if you can just cut down on like the negative plays, the sacks, not that there's been that many sacks, but the penalties, the stupid stuff, and just like hit your check down. Just do that. I think the Bears offense can move the ball, but just needs to be willing to take the small stuff and kind of, go, meticulously down the field. So yeah, I mean, again, I don't know, Caleb, there's been a lot of talk on the internet the past 48 hours, whatever it is, 24 hours, however long it's been, that people are done with Caleb. People think he's not the guy. I still think there's definitely enough talent there to give him, I was telling you guys at the beginning of the season, like, I don't even think this at the end of this season is going to be like, I'm not going to be one way or another on Caleb at the end of this season. I think it's going to be, probably next year we'll be able to have a good idea once he's got a full off season under his belt with Ben Johnson. But Drew, like the criticism that I've seen, I don't know if you saw it too, but the criticism, like, do you think that any of it is valid in your mind? Or do you think that this is all just, Bears fans going down like the Mitch or the Justin Fields, like going, like just replaying all that stuff in their head and kind of applying it all to Caleb too?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard not to, we see it, and we saw it at the beginning of the season. It's hard not to go down the deep road of negativity in losses, especially in a game that seemed like it should have been a win. The takeaway for me is Caleb, yes. Does he have a long way to go? 100%. Does he have the talent to do it? 100%. Have you given more quarterbacks in the Bears organization a longer chance than him already? 100%. So, like, why are we righting the ship? And the other 100% I'm going to say is, do we have a serviceable backup that will come in and make us winners to go to the playoffs or whatever we think is success? 100% no on that one. So I want to show patience for Caleb. Mm-hmm. It is hard to stay patient with him when it just does look like Jay put the visual perfectly, and Eric commented on it, a gorilla on roller skates at times. And but I'm not writing him off. This shows again why it's hard to win in the NFL. You go on a 4-game winning streak and you come into a game where you think you should absolutely dominate with a quarterback that is not healthy. But this is also a team that came off a bye that could prepare their defense. That's been looking horrible, and they can scheme up some things. So I think I give a lot of credit to their defense for it was criticized as being one of the worst in the league. We criticized it. We wrote it off to them. And they did a lot of things. They played the Bears' typical bend but don't break, and that worked out for them big time. Kept them out of the end zone and kept their game managers and their offensive tactics in the game here. So, yeah, I can't write off Caleb. I'm not going to. Whoever's out there on Twitter, stick your thumb back in your mouth and suckle on that for a little bit, because he's not going anywhere. One, and two, he's the best chance that we have and have had at a long road of success at quarterback in the last, since Jay Cutler, I would say, in my eyes.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. And also, again, if you're watching the Monday Night Football game with us, I think Jay just solidified himself to move on to next week. I think you're good to go. Rasheed Rice just scored like a 15-yard touchdown, so I think you are good to go. The one thing I'll say about Caleb before we move on is that I agree with you, Drew. Like I said, I think that he deserves the benefit of the doubt. I think there's enough positive to think, this is a second-year guy, 7th game under the new head coach. So I think like being like saying anything that he's a bust or anything like that is crazy at this point. I will say that I think next week is a big game for him. We'll talk about it obviously more later in this week, but the Bengals defense just let a Justin Fields led New York Jets team score 39 points against them or whatever it was. So I think that it's a big week for the Bears coming up. So we'll see what happens with this offense. We need to clean up a lot, but again, we'll get to that on Thursday night. So just to kind of, again, run through some stats, like Caleb, we talked about his stats. One thing I do want to call out, and I think this is something that I'm personally keeping track of all season. I don't know if this is something that interests you or not. I'm more interested in the storyline to die than anything, but I have been kind of tracking Caleb's, quest for 4,000 because we've never had it. And we're actually, so as of right now, he's on pace for 39.73 with this game. So we're just under it. He needs to average 236 yards a game the rest of the season, which 236 is a very, very gettable number.
So doable.
So I definitely I think that this is legitimately the best chance, barring some kind of, unforeseen injury, that the Bears had a 4,000 yard passer, which, not that I'm excited about it, but again, like I said, I'm excited for this narrative to die. I can't wait for this to be over. So get your 4,000 yards, and then I don't care if it never happens again, to be honest with you. I just want to get it done so we're not on that anymore. I hate that.
Yep.
Just be an answer to a trivia question, and that's it.
Exactly. All right. DeAndre Swift had a nice game. I mean, he had 45 yards rushing, 26 yards receiving, which isn't crazy. He did have a touchdown. Decent average. He's averaging a little bit more than 4 yards a carry. So that's about what you want. Like I said, Odunze had a nice game, 7 catches for 114. DJ Moore, this is I think, honestly, I feel like DJ Moore has not really put up big receiving yards numbers this season. So seeing 73 yards for DJ Moore this season was nice. Colson Loveland, again, this is nothing crazy, but for him to have 3 catches and 38 yards, that's exciting, because I think that obviously Cole Kmet not playing in this game helped that number, but seeing him being targeted and being used, I think, is a good thing. And he did look like he was more than capable when he does get the ball thrown his way. So I like to see that. I'd like to see more of that.
Yeah. Just got to stop false starts.
He did have a false start today on Sunday, which just, can't be doing that. But like I said, I do think he's a capable receiver, so hopefully we can get him more in the game plan. I do think that having a solid tight end that is going to be, a threat is definitely part of what I was talking about earlier. Is a tight end is often referred to as the quarterback's security blanket. So getting a tight end that is, in the game plan is a good idea. So I'd love to see him or Cole Kmet or both, somebody getting involved. So I do want to talk a little defense. I don't know. Do you guys have anything else to add to the offensive side of the ball?
No, I think we covered it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So defensive side of the ball, Bears, going into this game, Bears were down their top 3 corners, right? We know Jalen Johnson, who knows if he's coming back this season. Tyreek Stevenson didn't play in this game, and Kyler Gordon got put on IR after we recorded on Thursday. So really just an absolute shell of the Bears defense back there. Didn't record a takeaway, only the second time this season with 0 takeaways. But we knew we talked about it. I think we made a joke about it last week. Bears relying on having, 3 to 4 takeaways a game is not a sustainable defense. You can't hang your hat on that as your defensive strategy of taking the ball away several times. And they didn't even take ball away one time this game. So, that was going to be a problem. And then the Ravens running game was very good. Derrick Henry had he actually was very inefficient, minus him. He had 2 touchdowns, but he only averaged 3 yards a carry when he was running the ball. But besides Keaton Mitchell, I don't know, that guy, he looks like he's fast, and looks like he's shot out of a cannon every time he got the ball. So I would like to see more of him, because I picked him up in Dynasty, and I'd like to see him used, because I think he's got some juice. But I do think the biggest Bears problem was that the Ravens just felt like they just converted all the time on third down. They were almost 50% on third down conversions, which is it just kills you when you're trying to come back in a game and you just keep getting third down conversions given up. I don't have this actually meant to call this out, but I didn't want to make a big deal about it because I don't think it impacted the outcome of the game at all. But I do think it's worth shouting out that absolutely awful no call on the DeAndre Hopkins third down catch in the fourth quarter, where he like pushed him away, hit him in the face mask. I think it was on Nashawn Wright, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And absolutely no call whatsoever. And it was just brutal to see. It was a big third down. The Bears really needed to like get the ball back and make a shot. But again, I don't want to harp on it too much like we have in the past with the officials, because I didn't think the officiating was as bad overall, but that was a pretty brutal no call. And I think it's worth calling out for just that. And again, it may not have changed the end of the game, but I do think it was just an absolutely terrible no call. So wanted to throw that out there as well. But yeah, I mean, we talked about on Thursday, we all three of us were 100% sure that we were going to get Lamar Jackson in this game. So when we woke up on Saturday morning, it was kind of weird because they said he was a full participant on Friday, but then they had to amend that because he played on the scout team, so he was a not full participant. Some weird stuff going on over there, but essentially Saturday morning it's announced Lamar's not active. So I don't know about you guys, but I was thrilled. I'm like, oh hell yeah, dude! I got the Bears at like plus 6.5 or whatever it was.
Yeah,
like,
same
this is
here.
Fucking awesome, dude. I can't wait. Right. I had the Bears money line at like the, higher number. So either way, I was thrilled, and then Tyler Huntley comes in here and looks like an all pro out there. Like he was just making the right plays, making, his numbers didn't really jump out at you, but like he was just making all the right plays all the time. It makes you wonder why they had, what's his name playing backup for a couple weeks? What's the old Cowboys backup? What's his name that was playing for him?
Cooper Rush.
Yeah. Why was Cooper Rush ever taking any snaps for this team? Because, I mean, Tyler Huntley might not be that every week, but he definitely has a higher floor than Cooper Rush.
Yeah.
Cooper Rush is a bad player. So anyway, the Bears defense gave up a lot of yards. I don't know. What did you guys see from the Bears defense? Is there anything that we can pinpoint as like this is a problem, or is there anything you saw that was potentially good that we can kind of like build on for like future weeks? Drew, anything you saw?
Man, I mean, everything about this game for me, like analyzing the technical aspects of it, me seem futile.
I agree.
It's one that you kind of have to throw in the trash can and just understand that like you didn't do all the things that you needed to prepare for this team. You might have taken it a little bit easy, knowing that, Sunday morning there was a load off your chest because Lamar wasn't playing, or you might have known it earlier in the week and it came out to a different quarterback that you probably didn't prepare for, and didn't have a game plan for, and it just turned into a bunch of mush. Which your offense definitely could have helped out with by putting you up plenty. And then you're playing the turnover game where Tyler Huntley's trying to beat you rather than just control a game and stay in a game. So this one, I kind of have to, you crumple up the ball of paper, you throw it in the trash can and say, guess what? Again, it's the NFL. You cannot overlook any team no matter what. And you're going to get another backup because obviously next week, because Joe Flacco is taking over in Cincinnati. So yes, you've had more game script on him to prepare for him, but it shows me 100% that there are no 100 definite winnable games in the NFL. So you can't treat it that way. And a defense definitely shouldn't, especially when it's not as polished as ours is.
Yeah. The thing that stuck out I think the stat that really sticks out, if you wanted to boil it down on the defense, is this Bears defense during the 4-game win streak. It was turnovers, winning that battle. And this is what happens. This is the Bears defense if we don't create turnovers. This is just the reality of it. There's not enough pressure on the front line. The front line's not good enough. We have a depleted secondary. That's going to come and be highlighted where a backup quarterback can look serviceable. In the run game kind of speaks to that. There was nothing crazy that jumped off the screen. Like you actually said it, Nick. If you can hold King Henry to under 4 yards a carry, you did something right there. So like they can't knock him for that. But the inability to create turnovers, like this defense needs to stay competitive by forcing 2+ turnovers a game. If not, this is the result. You give up 30 points to a backup quarterback. and okay, fine offense. Like nothing on their offense stood out. Like they slashed and graded us. It was a combination of bad penalties, offense not being able to sustain drive, putting the defense back on the field, and that slow grind of just bending and breaking. It was an unfortunate kind of, waterfall that kind of happened, and it was an ugly game, and that was the result.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. It was like a slow burn game. It was just a game where there was no really pivotal moments in it. It just kind of felt like after the first quarter, it was just not a good, like the Bears just were it seemed like they were kind of mailing it in, which, we'll get to, but I think Ben Johnson kind of alluded to that in his post-game news press conference, which we'll talk about in a minute. I will say one thing about the defense that I think is positive. The Bears got 2 sacks on only 24, 25 pass attempts in this game, and both of them came from the defensive line. So they're not. I mean, they may have sent more on the plays. I don't remember specifically, but seeing your defensive lineman get home, that's a good thing. Montez Sweat got a sack. Yeah, Griffin Dexter got a sack. So that's you like to see your defensive linemen get sacks. Especially, 2 sacks in a game where they're not really throwing the ball a lot, where they're kind of in control most of the game. That's actually a pretty decent thing. So it wasn't sustained pressure, like you were saying, Jay. It didn't seem like they ever really, it didn't seem like Huntley ever had to really he was never constantly under pressure, but getting a couple sacks, it's good. So that's something I'm can at least hopefully build on. Because the Bengals offensive line is pretty bad next week. So hopefully they can kind of build on that.
And credit, sorry, Nick, but credit where credit's due too. I've been really hard on Montez Sweat. He's racked up some nice games in a row where his number and name has been called and he's getting sacks. So let's keep on building on that. That is certainly a positive and a nice takeaway.
Yeah, no, 100%. He's definitely.
I think you're searching on that one. You just want to hear his name called.
No, I mean he does. He's
7 tackles, 4 solo, and a sack.
He's got a forced fumble, I think, in there too, right?
But
yeah. I mean,
that dude's got to have more for me.
I agree, but the last 2 or 3 games he's had a sack, so it's better than nothing. It had been nothing.
And to give Montez Sweat more credit than we have in the past, when you throw out there Dayo Odiengbo as your opposite defensive end, they're not afraid of anybody on the Bears defensive line except for Montez Sweat. So Montez Sweat's just eating double teams all day. So
yeah, Dayo might as well be a fucking scarecrow. He's a blocking pad. He had a flash a couple times the first game, and I don't think I've heard his name called. I honestly, if you would have told me in the second half of that game that he hasn't played the last 4 weeks with an injury, I would have been oh, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah.
I would have had no idea. But so it is nice to see Montez Sweat get sacks. It's nice to hear his name called on the broadcast, all that stuff, because it did go a while without it. So yeah, hopefully we can kind of build on that. Again, like I said, don't want to get too into it because we'll talk about Thursday, but the Bengals have a pretty terrible offensive line, so hopefully we'll get more of that next week. Mm-hmm. So, all right, so the Bears offense was really good and then really bad, and then the Bears defense just kind of, I don't think they were really bad or really good. They just kind of were them, and they just didn't get to take the ball away. Yeah. It's kind of like you said, Jay. So the other big thing about the Bears, though, and this is something Drew, you mentioned earlier, you thought that putting the ball in the end zone was going to be Ben Johnson's number one thing. I think his number one thing is going to be, we got to get these penalties cleaned up. This is get on your hands and knees and beg these people. We got to clean this stuff up, guys. This is another double-digit penalty game for the Bears, 79 total yards. I broke it down. We're talking 31 yards on offense on 4 penalties, which that's 4 different times where you have to back up, and you got to make a 10, getting 10 yards for first down for the Bears is not the easiest thing, and you're making it harder on yourselves. And then 3 penalties for 30 yards on special teams, which is just backing up your offense, who already has troubles putting the ball in the end zone. So these penalties need to stop. And there's 5 penalties that I specifically want to call out. There's 2 intentional grounding penalties on Caleb, 2 false starts, and an illegal formation. Those are 5 penalties that could be and should be avoided. Those are not penalty. Like, you're going to get holding penalties. You're going to get pass interference penalties. You're going to get that stuff in the flow of the game. That's going to happen. But when we're talking about intentional grounding and just like, pre-snap stuff, like that needs to stop. This like, it's crazy that we're in week 8 and we're still talking about the Bears having issues with like getting lined up and, being in the right formation and stuff like that. These are the things that need to be cleaned up.
100%. Nick, we said this. I mean, we love Ben Johnson. There's no doubt that he's the right coach for us, but like that's on the coaching staff. You have to figure that out, and you have to stop your players from doing that and practice that kind of stuff. You coached Caleb through not doing. I mean, those intentional groundings were massive too, and they were absolutely massive. False starts, illegal formations. Like, what are we doing? This is Pee Wee football stuff. We were talking about the old school coaching mentality where you just get your face mask grabbed and get chewed out. Like, something has to happen. He has to light a fire and make that completely unacceptable. Like, completely unacceptable. Somehow fortify that throughout the practices. Shame the players. Boo the players. Do something crazy, right? Like, but that has to stop like immediately.
Yeah.
The one thing I just want to say with all of this is like, it's a constant. So like when you see something that is happening again and again and again, like what's the issue? Like, am I going crazy here? That like, is it the players or is it the coaching? Is it the play calling? Is it the snap count calling to give it a basic? Is it Caleb not being able to dictate when the play clock is counting down some things and everything? Like, there's got to be like a pinpointed. It seems like at this point it's all up in the air because you can't focus on why this is all happening. Like, I can't tell you. And that's the most frustrating thing with the penalties is like, if it was one specific person or one specific play type or one specific down or one specific time in a quarter where we were like, yeah, hey, this is always happening. Easy way to coach out of this is to show them that tape of when this is happening. It's happening all the time, guys. So like, how do you coach that out of somebody? Or how do you say like, I need to simplify X, Y, and Z for you? Because you guys are just doing it at random ass times in the game, whenever the game is, open or whenever we're charging down the field. So like, there is no consistent basis of when these are all happening. They're just happening all the time. So like, how do you, the question I have for you guys is, how do you coach that? Like, how do you coach that out of them? Other than like Nick, you said, get on your knees and beg that you please just don't do this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like when it comes to like the illegal formations and illegal shifts, which there weren't any illegal shifts in this game, but we've seen it plenty of times. That is just going to be familiarity with the offense. That's going to come eventually. Like, it shouldn't be taking this long, but that will come with familiarity with the offense. Like false starts, like this is something that I'll never understand. Like, again, I never played anywhere near NFL, college football, anything like that, but I did play football for a big part. I played football from like 4th grade till high school, and we would do every single practice, every level, every coach that I ever had. We would run sprints at the end of practice, and we'd have to get down our 3-point stances, and they would say it's on whatever count it's on. It's on 3. And if anybody jumped, we had to add another sprint to the end of practice. Like, this is something that's like ingrained in football players from like day one. This is not like new stuff. A professional football player should not jump off sides, like should not false start. That's just not how this should work. Like that, every once in a while it'll happen. And you can deal with it. But when we get like 2 false start penalties a game, like that's crazy. Like, this is the NFL. This should not be happening anymore. So I don't know how you coach it out other than like literally start benching people for doing this, because false starts are the most avoidable penalty in football. It's like, what count the ball is going to get snapped on. Like, it's not like a surprise. Like, the defense can jump because they don't know. They can get drawn off. But like, as an offensive player, when the ball's going. Yeah. You're aware of it. You just got to wait. You just got to be patient. And like, this just keeps happening. So I don't know. I'm not, maybe there was some kind of silent count in this game because they were on the road and it threw them off. But I see this happening at home games too. So I don't really know if I should even give them the benefit of the doubt there.
I was going to say, you see it at the home games too. It's like, there is no benefit of the doubt.
Right.
There isn't.
Yeah,
it's bad. I mean, the Bears, and Drew, I don't know how to coach it out. I'm going to side that question because I don't know how to coach it out. But the stat that was really damning that I heard on the radio today was the Bears are bottom 3 in the league in penalties per game. They have 9 penalties per game. The only 2 teams that are worse haven't had a bye week yet. And we have, you know what I mean? So like you put it on a per game, we're the worst in the fucking league in penalties per game. That's how you lose games, guys. I mean, it's got to be cleaned up. You can't put yourself at that much of a competitive disadvantage when you're not being efficient getting the ball in the end zone in the red zone. I mean, that's going to shoot you.
Yeah, Drew, I want you to ask your dad how he coaches penalties out of his football players, and I'd like to see if that would work on our Bears, because we need to go back. Sometimes you got to go back to go forward. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, it might be a Keith Bailey guest star.
Yeah, he is an O-line and D-line coach.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's if anybody would know. So anyway, the penalties continue to be a problem. Like again, penalties, even 5-yard penalties, this offense can't overcome. Like we just can't expect them to overcome anything. Like they have a hard enough time on getting 10 yards, giving them an extra 5, 10, 15 in some cases. Can't have that when you're already struggling. So we need to clean that up as soon as possible. We need to clean that up a month ago. So the other thing, I mean, I don't know. Is there anything else like about this, like the actual like game itself, X's and O's wise, matchup wise, you guys want to touch on? There's nothing really that comes to mind for me.
I'm still encouraged by. Sorry, Drew. I'm still encouraged by the run game. It wasn't a home run game. Don't get me wrong. And the Ravens aren't good against the run, but it wasn't bad, right? It was more. It's just that pass game needs to develop, and I know Ben and I know Caleb can identify that. Anyone with eyes can identify that. We got to start kind of seeing, and like you said, Nick, like next week is a prime opportunity, and it really is a big litmus test for. How is this offense going to look going forward, and how much hope should we have? We need to have a clean offensive showing in the pass game, not just statistically, but efficiency-wise, getting the ball, putting the ball in the end zone. And I want to see, because I know it can be done. I know we've seen it. We just need the consistency to be there, and need to be able to take advantage of weak defenses. And unfortunately, we didn't do it this past week.
Yeah.
I have to touch on what Jay was just saying of like, yes, impressed by the run game, but it felt like the run game got abandoned a little too quick in this game towards like it's been your bread and butter of the last 2 at least wins, and you got to stick with that and keep riding that and elongate the game out, because I think when we came out after their score in the second half, it was just like, okay, it's all throws now. We're just going to throw. When the script goes 38-23 right now, I don't think that's a winning recipe for the Bears. So yeah, that's one thing. The other thing is, guys, I'm 100% done with Devin Duvernay. I said it in a couple of shows past. I'm done with this guy. He doesn't know how to hit an open lane on a kick return that the people are not getting a running start towards you. They actually cannot start until you catch the ball. Please, God, get Luther Burden in there. Get somebody else who's a little bit more dynamic than this guy. I know we signed him to be what he is. He had a catch for 2 yards. Like they tried to scheme up a play for him, and he doesn't know where the open space of the field is. So please get away from this guy. This is supposed to be like the Devin Duvernay revenge game. Yeah. He's terrible. Get him off the team. Yeah. I'm done with him.
Well, Drew, that's going to kind of segue into the next bullet point that I have here, and I got some bad news for you. More Devin Duvernay on offense even. So a couple Bears injuries in this game to take note of. Luther Burden got a concussion this game, did not return, and he'll be in the concussion protocol, so very up in the air whether he'll play next week or not. And then Zacchaeus has a knee injury, which Ben Johnson said after the game they still had to look at and evaluate, which is not a good sign. Usually if you have to evaluate, it's not typically doesn't end up better than the way you expect it to be. So decent chance you're going to be down your third and fourth receivers in this game. So insert Devin Duvernay right there as your starting slot receiver probably next week.
Cordell Patterson is still on free agency. Go get him.
Please. Bring him home.
Get him. Bring
Devin
him out.
Hester's
I don't
out there.
care if he's
Get Devin Hester back.
37 years old.
I'd love to see Devin Hester back on the Bears.
Yeah.
I don't care if he's 45 years old or whatever, but anyway, just some other injuries. Dominique Robinson, I think on like the first play of the game, like the first opening kickoff, like hurt his ankle. He didn't return. Bears second round defensive tackle Shamar Turner, knee injury, did not return. So nothing really. I mean, the defense is already pretty decimated, so seeing anybody go out is not good. And the Bears do have a decent rotation of defensive linemen right now, so seeing anybody from the defensive line go down is not great. But yeah, the receivers, that might be a problem. We'll kind of bookmark that and see where it looks on Thursday when we do our preview show of the Bengals game. But anyway, just some injuries to take note of. But the last thing I want to talk about, we've seen this, a couple weeks, specifically after the Lions game, but we've seen it kind of a few times. Ben Johnson is not afraid to, I don't want to say call out his team in the media, because it doesn't feel like he's saying these things in closed doors to the team as well. He's not nice to the team and then goes out and calls them out to the media, but he's not shy to say how he really feels to the media about his team, which I like. I think that's a nice thing. Like every coach I've seen for the last, since Belichick has been just like very robotic in their responses, very like football talk responses. And then Ben Johnson, the thing that really jumped out to me, I've seen the clip going around, is after the game, he said, like, give Baltimore a lot of credit. They came out, they played a physical brand of football, just like you expect. They were hungry, they were determined, and truth be told, I expected more out of our squad to counter that. We fell short. I love that he said that. Like, I think, I think he is giving credit to Baltimore in that moment, but I think that he's saying, like, this is what I expect from my team, is to be playing physical, playing hungry, playing determined, and they weren't, and we need to be better. So I like that he's not afraid to say these things to the team and also to the media as well, to make sure that they are aware, like, hey, this is not okay. This is not the brand of football we play. So I don't know if you guys saw that or anything else that Ben Johnson said and had an opinion on it.
It just kind of fortifies that this coaching staff is going to hold the players accountable.
Yeah.
And it's a breath of fresh air there. It's like, hey, we're going to celebrate the good times, and we're going to celebrate the hell out of them, and we're going to, take that for what it is. But if we're falling short, you're going to know about it, and you will be held accountable for it in the locker room and publicly, because people have eyes. They can see that we fell short. We're going to address that. And that's what a good coach does. So I enjoy that.
Yeah. And again, you give credit where credit's due. As a coach, you look at a team, and this is the team we said in the preview show that it should not be overlooked. It is what a lot of people were picking as a playoff team. Thon's their MVP quarterback, and they caught a little bit of a rough go in their early schedule. But I wouldn't be surprised if you start to see them turn some things around, because they got Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, Jets, Bengals next. So, we might be talking about in 5 weeks that they got a win against the Bears, and they now just took that into a winning streak of being over 500. And that was the stepping stone for them. But it's Ben Johnson. I have full faith is going to go into his locker room and say, we can no longer overlook any teams that we are playing in front of us.
100%. Actually, Drew, to kind of back up your point, I think I saw something that the Ravens are actually currently right now at 2-5. I think they're like plus 110 to win the AFC North. Yeah, which is fucking insane. Crazy. That's crazy.
Well, after Pittsburgh loses, you got a 3-5 Cincinnati, 2-5 Baltimore. Right. 2-6 Cleveland, and Pittsburgh's on top at 4-3. So
the Ravens play the Steelers twice still.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's crazy that the Ravens could go from 1-5 to like division winners and be in the playoffs, and it'll be exactly like they expected at the beginning of the season, even though it was absolutely like disaster. Sirens going off like crazy in Baltimore. So anyway, yeah, it's just an interesting thing. So we're going to move on to the grades section. But before we do that, again, like Eric in the chat has mentioned, I just want to shout out you two boys specifically and myself. We made it through the guillotine this week. We are playing on. We'll have more about the guillotine, but Tyler, thanks for playing. Appreciate it. Hope you had fun. Maybe you come back next year and avenge it a little bit. But yeah, that was a fun week. We're down to 10 now. We're gonna have some high scores. You're gonna see. I think next week. It was pretty close this week, but you're probably gonna see your first triple-digit scorer not make it to the next week. Next week. So anyway, so that's a lot. That was a lot of fun this week. Anyway, so let's go ahead and let's finish off our Bears talk. Let's go around the horn. Let's grade this effort. I think we're again probably all in lockstep here. But Jay, what do you? Let's do offense, defense, then overall.
Sure. Offense, I'm going to give a D-. Borderline F, but D-. I did enjoy, and I thought that the run game was there, and the total yardage was kind of there. It was just kept consistently shooting themselves in the foot. So D- for the offense. I'll give the defense they gave up 30 points to a backup quarterback. It's hard to even smell the C. So I'll give it D+. They did stop King Henry to a decent. He got in the end zone twice, right? But 3.4 yards a carry for King Henry is not the end of the world. Under 200 yards, but 30 points being hung up on you against a backup is not a good look. So overall, a solid D. It could even be a D- when you factor in all the penalties. So I will go. I'll give the overall performance a D-. And honestly, that was probably one of the worst games I've seen the Bears play this season and for a long time. So it's close to an F, honestly. But I'll stick with the D-.
Yeah, Drew.
I'm not going to be as harsh as Jay. Yeah, I there were a lot of not good things about this game. It was a one-score game until that last possession that had some bogus things happen. So it was a potential winnable game. So I'm going to give offense. I'm going to give them just a straight D because yes, you need to convert more for sure. Defense, I'm giving a C because there was a lot of injuries. You kept in the game with a couple of possessions that were in plus territory, and especially in that first half. And overall, I'm just going to go with a C-. Coaching, whatever, special teams, I just kind of put by the wayside. I'm just going offense, defense. So C-. It's a loss. It's definitely not above 500. So that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I'm probably more in line with Jay. I thought the offense outside of the first two drives was honestly miserable to watch, and even on those first two drives, like they didn't score touchdowns, which is again that's what we need. So I'm gonna give the offense a D-. And I think the defense again, nothing really jumps out at you. It's like they were just terrible. I'm gonna give the defense a straight C on the day. Not that they were good, they weren't bad. I think they were on the field a lot. Bears offense couldn't really move the ball. Overall, I'm going to give them a D+ for the day. So D+ for the Bears on Sunday against the Ravens. So we will, game's over. We're going to move on. We have a winning record, right? Bears are still have a winning record. I think, and the one thing I kept saying to rationalize this, and granted, I would say this with Lamar Jackson playing in mind, but coming into the season, when I looked at the schedule, this game was always a loss. And when I looked at it, like true. This is a loss. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, leaving that game with a winning record is definitely a positive. Is that a little bit of loser talk I'm doing right now? Yeah, probably. We are losers.
Warranted,
Bears
though.
Fans. It is. We have a winning record again, and we just lost the game. So, I think there's positive things to look forward to. We do have a couple of games coming up that are going to be really important because the schedule gets pretty tough the last third of the season. So we kind of got some games that if the Bears are going to make any kind of run, it's going to have to be in the next couple of games. So we'll see what happens, I guess.
Yeah.
So anyway, with that, Jay, I don't know, do you want to take us around the league?
I sure can. Yep. So let's go around the league. Lions had a bye, so no blood with the Lions. Thankfully, they get to get rested up, a little healthier, a little fresher. But they did lose some ground to the Packers. The Packers had their revenge. The Aaron Rodgers revenge game on Sunday night. They were down early and came roaring back and kind of put that one out of reach pretty aggressively. They looked pretty dominant, and Jordan Love looked fantastic, which pains me to say it, but he really did. That the scheme that they had offensively, establishing the run with multiple running backs, whoever was carrying the ball was just chunking off yards, and Jordan Love was not missing. I think he had 20 straight completions that game, tied Brett Favre for a franchise record there, which the Sunday Night Crew could not stop fucking talking about. Mike Tirico was fucking in love with that stat. It's like, yeah, we get it, Mike. You've been talking about this for 5 minutes. But the Packers, man, what are they, 5-1-1 now? I think we were talking about Iowa specifically. I know I was like, I'm not fucking scared of the Packers. What a crazy thing 1 week in the NFL does, because they look fucking elite again. We talked about this a little bit on Thursday night because we were covering the Vikings and Chargers game, but the Vikings got blown out of the water by the Chargers, lose some ground. They lose Carson Wentz for the year as well. He's undergoing season-ending season surgery. Probably a good thing for them. Honestly, probably makes their team better with him away, because we want to talk about a gorilla with roller skates on. That was like the Carson Wentz play, like every drop back. He's like, I don't know what to do with the ball. Take it. Say, hey, that's terrible. So we'll smell you later, Carson. But they got crushed 37-10. So the Packers are kind of, it's a Packers and Lions division. I think that's what we've come out about halfway through the season, and we know that one of those teams is going to win it. The Bears, it's a cherry on top if they're doing well and they're having a winning record. The Vikings suck. And we'll see what happens when JJ comes back, but I can't imagine he's the answer to any of those ailments that they have. He does not look great. He's very young.
If he was the answer, he would have been in 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, 100%.
Like he's nursing this ankle injury. I'm sure you guys saw the clip that was going around, but a player rolled up on him. He like jumped over him and like celebrated a first down. It's like, that ankle looks just fine. So I think they're holding him back a little bit. So
yeah, he looked like Spider-Man in that clip. He like reflex was like a cat.
Yeah.
Strong ankle. You know who didn't have a strong ankle though? Is Cam Scattaboo. That was brutal. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Holy hell.
It was ugly. Yeah.
Yeah. I got a quick story about that. So I was driving over to Sam Katz's and I was listening. Listening is the key word. Listening to Red Zone in my car through the Bluetooth, but I also had it on the phone. And so Chris Hansen's like, all right, we're going to show you the replay. If you want to take a look, to look away if you're squeamish. So I'm driving and I'm like, well, I got to fucking see this. Jeopardizing lives while I'm looking and watching Red Zone. And I looked at it, I was like, whoa, because that thing was just going all sorts of the wrong way. So that sucked to see, because Cam's so fun, but I can't imagine he's playing again this year.
Yeah. And
he walked out of that stadium.
No, he did.
He got air casted out. He got air casted out to there, but he walked out.
Out of the stadium. Because he got structured off the field. But yeah, that is a classic Cam move, though. Just like, fuck it, give me pain pills, I'll walk on it.
One of my other leagues, somebody sent like a snapshot of like him holding up his leg and his ankle just like drooping down, like that picture. And my friend Jeremy sent a text to the group, just like a bunch of letters that's like, I want to get this off the top of my thread. So he just like sent
we'll not see that. Like, HIJ, LSD. Yeah,
right, exactly.
Yeah.
So that was ugly. That was ugly,
man. But no, let's take it back to the NFC North really quick. Obviously, the Lions are on the bye. You guys have any thoughts on the Packers game? I know that was the big game with Aaron Rodgers coming back. But like, are we scared of the Packers again? Was that fair to say that was a pretty dominant performance? They looked pretty clean.
Yeah. I think the Packers are. I mean, I'm just terrified of these two top teams in our division. Ultimately, and the Packers have re-solidified being scared of them against the Steelers, but they're I don't know why it seems like their offensive weapons aren't as daunting as might seem, but then they play the football game and it's like, oh God, yeah, those guys are all good. Like Romeo Doubs can catch a 15-yard pass at any time. Tucker Kraft looks like the best tight end in the league right now. Josh Jacobs, I hate him because he just looks like he can constantly chunk off 5 to 15-yard runs at any time. And then Jordan Love, I'm still with you, Jay. I don't think this dude is good, but his composure is tops in the league. It never looks like that dude that he's unflappable. He never looks like he's uncomfortable in the pocket or throwing, always standing up straight, always delivering a spiral ball, which is a little bit opposite of our quarterback. So yeah, it's terrifying to see them clicking on all cylinders. And I'm stalling really quickly they play the Panthers. Yeah, they got the Eagles. They've got the Giants, Vikings. Like, I think they're a guaranteed playoff team, and they've got a few games that are going to prove it over the next 4 weeks before they get back into the division.
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily afraid of the players on the Packers. I'm more afraid of like this whole, I don't know what kind of like selling of a soul blood oath deal that the Packers fans have made, because I watched, so this game really sucked the life out of me. I don't know if in the middle of the game, I texted you guys that I don't think I like football anymore. All my bets are losing. My fantasy teams suck. Bears suck. I had a big bet on the Steelers to cover this game. That was my like big bet of the week. It was like several units. It was a big bet, and that was looking good. And then the play that really really kind of led me in this spiral, if you will, was a play. Jordan Love is like drifting back in the pocket. And Jay, you said he's unflappable. It's because I think he's an idiot. I don't think he has anything going through his brain at any point. He's just drifting back like nothing's going on. And then he throws the ball a mile in the air as he's getting hit. And there's 3 Steelers and none of them can find the ball. And it just falls right into, I don't remember if it was Christian Watson or Tucker Kraft.
And that was that was not how you remember it. It was a man-on-man defense. Tucker Kraft went up and caught the ball and ran for about 40 yards after it.
Whatever it was bad. I remember that was not like a good.
That was a lucky ball. That was a lucky
ball. Yes, it was a very lucky, unfortunate throw. But I beg you to go back and watch that because I know you were complaining about it, but it was man-on-man. It was like a center going up against a point guard for a rebound. He just threw the ball up when there was man-to-man defense, but keep going.
Way. It's just that stuff. It's just, I don't know. There were, I mean, again, not to be this guy, but there were so many holds that on the Packers that were just not called. Like, it just feels like that team just gets every call all the time. And yeah, I am afraid of the Packers because they are destined to just always be there.
I know.
And it's just that's what I'm afraid of. Jordan Love doesn't scare me. The Packers receivers don't scare me. Tucker Kraft scares me a little bit. He's very good. And Micah Parsons obviously is a terrifying person. But like the team itself is not like that scary. But then something happens. They put those uniforms on. It's like I said, some kind of like blood oath. And they just like win. I don't know.
Supernatural is being brought into the equation here. It's the only justification, the only explanation for it, really.
Yeah.
And I'm still with you. Listen, the stat line, the eye test, Jordan Love looked great. I'm still not sold. I'm still not sold. You put him in a playoff situation, I'm like that. There's no way that he can be nails in lead a team to a Super Bowl. They'll probably win it after I say that, but yeah. All right, guys. I'll ask you this really quick, and then we'll go around the league outside of the NFC North a little bit more. Gun to your head, who's winning the NFC North this year, the Lions or the Packers? Drew, who you got?
I am going to say the Packers. Okay. I think that they are the more well-rounded team. the Lions, I still don't trust that defense fully just yet. I am going to, and these games are going to be must-see TV when the Packers and Lions play each other. So, but I am going with the Packers this year. They do have a half game up on Detroit because they tied Dallas. But going forward, I'm going Packers.
All right, Nick, you in the same boat?
No, I'm taking the Lions, and I'm taking the Lions because at the end of the day, the NFL is about quarterback play, and I just trust Jared Goff more than I would trust Jordan Love in a playoff situation. Jared Goff's been to a Super Bowl. He led the NFC Championship game a couple of years ago. Like I just feel like, Jared Goff is a guy who can do it in the playoffs. And also, I think you got your, Amon-Ra St. Brown is the best receiver on those two teams by a mile. So having like the best receiver on the team, I think is good. And the Packers, one of their biggest strengths, they have Micah Parsons now. I think Aiden Hutchinson is not there, but pretty close to being as dominant of a pass rusher. So I think the Lions, with their experience, I like their head coach. I like his mentality. I think the Lions do take the division, but I do think it is a dogfight to the end. I think that game that they have, whenever it is, their second game is going to be a very pivotal game in the NFL this year.
Yeah. I'm with you, Nick. I think it's the Lions until they kind of get dethroned. The question going into the season was, can they sustain their offensive excellence without Ben Johnson? They've proven that that's not an issue. Now they're putting up more points per game without him, oddly enough. I like the Lions. I think there's a cohesiveness there, familiarity. So we'll see. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun divisional race for sure. But let's talk about some other games too, some other quick hits. The bullet here is the Dolphins dominate the Falcons, and wouldn't you know it? Who was my lock of the week for in the betting world was the Falcons -7. Falcons -7. That wasn't close. That sucked. Oops.
You're only like 30 points.
Yeah, it's possibly like the longest, the furthest deviation of a spread in the history of a bet. And that was like just out of the gate. And Tua, it was funny too, because I texted you guys. I was like, all right, I got to start one of these bums. It's either Aaron Rodgers or Tua. Like, there's no way you can start Tua, right? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Because that's the right thing to do.
It was unanimous. We were all like, oh, Tua's a bum. Go Rodgers.
Yeah. And he's in all-pro form, apparently, against the Falcons defense that was like tops in the NFL. It's just further proof that nothing is predictable in the NFL this year.
The Falcons are a weird team. Granted, they had Kirk Cousins playing this game, no Drake London also, so it wasn't exactly the same.
Right.
But this is the same Falcons team that went to Carolina and got blanked 30-0 a few weeks ago.
Yeah, true.
So, the Falcons are such a weird team. I played Bijan Robinson in my uncle's league this week, and he had what I heard on Pardon My Take today referred to as probably his worst game as a pro, and he had like 36 yards and a fumble. So, the Falcons are just impossible you can't tell what's going to be. Are we get good Falcons? Be bad Falcons? Like, what are we going to get this week? It's impossible to tell.
Completely inconsistent. And Kirk Cousins looked terrible. He did. But I don't mean, even if Penix was in that game, it wasn't like Penix was playing on defense, and they gave up 34 to the Dolphins, who were completely anemic and then just started radiating. So explain that one to me. I can't. Bad bet, bad game for moi. Great game for Tua. Great, but that's like been the theme. As soon as I start talking shit, or like I was thrashing Tua to Sam and Jamie too, and then he just puts up 4 touchdowns, gives me the middle finger through the television screen.
That's big NFL telling you we need Mike McDaniel to stay.
Yeah, that's right.
Apparently.
They want the storyline. And Mike McDaniels wants to continue his residency in Miami, where he can get as much cocaine as he wants and unlimited amount of big booty Latinas. He's got a thing. He's got a niche. He's got an itch. From multiple sources, I've heard. So that was an interesting one. The Jets came off the schneid too, which was fun. There's no more winless teams in the NFL. No more undefeated teams. No more winless teams. That game was unbelievably fun to watch too. That was all over red zone. I couldn't imagine anyone had a 39-38 point, total in that game. Justin Fields looked. I mean, he looked okay. He actually kind of looked like Justin Fields still.
Yeah.
And they still put up points.
I
Like,
don't think
despite him.
he threw one touchdown, I think, or maybe did he throw a touchdown in
I
that
don't
game?
even know.
Yeah, just one.
Okay, 30. I mean, yeah, but
they were just running all over the place. Brees Hall had like a game. He had a big
he had
boy
two
game.
touchdowns and he threw one. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
he
He threw three touchdowns.
Yeah.
He threw the most ill-advised pass imaginable.
At the end of the
And it was
game,
like,
yeah.
I was doing this like, you can't throw that ball. Like, what do you do? And then boom, someone just plucked it out of the air. Like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
38-32, 40 seconds on the game clock.
Yeah, halfback option, please.
Don't worry, he's open.
Yeah,
I had him.
I will
The
say
guy-
though that's like if the owner coming out and saying that your quarterback isn't very good last week isn't an indication, having your running back throw the game-winning touchdown pass is definitely like up there for not a lot of belief in Justin Fields in the Meadowlands.
Yeah.
The two stats in that game that were eye-popping, other than Brees Hall. Nick, you touched on it earlier. Samaje P. Ryan going for 9 for 94.
Let's go.
Where that came from, I don't know.
Sorry.
3 stats. Everybody who ran the ball on Cincinnati, that includes Joe Flacco, had a rushing touchdown.
It's crazy.
So Samaje P. Ryan, Chase Brown, and Joe Flacco. And then there were 21 passes thrown by Joe Flacco. 19, I'm sorry, that's 21 completions. 33 targets, 19 of those were to Jamar Chase. And he had 12 catches for 21 of 21 completions. Just wow.
Good God. You know, there was one play where Flacco was seen multiple times using his legs on that game, which is unbelievable. But like he scrambled out of the pocket and got like an 11-yard gain right at like the first down marker. And it was one of those things where, like, if you watch on Madden someone run with like 45 speed, that's what it was. He was just like, and he wasn't going anywhere, but somehow he like fucking chunked off an 11-yard. Like, what the fuck is happening? There was no one on the left side of the field from the Jets.
It's like watching someone like pedal a mountain bike on like the first speed. Like legs are turning, they're like not going anywhere.
That was funny as hell. But that was the game of the week, honestly. Who would have thought Jets Bengals with 2 bum quarterbacks just putting up Hall of Fame numbers in the game?
Not only was that the game of the week, that was the only game this week that was even fun a little bit to watch. This was a week of stinkers.
Yeah, that was
including
a rough,
this Monday night game we just watched.
Yeah, it was a rough week. The red zone was really tough to watch, honestly, because nothing was close and it was pretty boring.
You know, when you're watching a red zone on like the noon slate of a team like on their own 36-yard line, it's like, oh god.
yeah. Oh boy. Trying to make something happen. But yeah, I mean, you know, there were a lot of bummer games. But Nick, did you have anything else that you wanted to call out, or any other kind of points that you want to talk about around the league?
I mean, I talked a lot of shit about the Texans, and they beat the 49ers pretty bad. 49ers, Mac Jones, pumpkin watch confirmed, back pumpkin, right in time for Halloween. Put him on the front porch. He looked so
Compost
bad.
him.
Yeah. So I mean, right when you thought the Texans couldn't look worse, right when you thought the Texans were the worst team in the NFL on offense, they win a game against the 49ers, who I've always thought were kind of fraudulent this season, just because there's no way, like outside of CMC, there's nobody on that team. Like they're playing a backup team, and so like they can't be good. So I mean, that game stood out to me a little bit just because I talked so much shit about the Texans last week, and shout out the Texans, they won a game, so good for them.
Yep. Drew, do you have anything that you wanted to call out?
Just 2 quick things. 3 quick things, actually. First one, don't pick against a home dog that is a 2-touchdown spread.
Yikes.
That was a bad one. Second thing is Drake May might be like really good. It might be really real. I know they played the Browns, but he's had 3
The Browns have a good defense
back-to-back games. Yeah, that looks pretty serviceable for them. And that's just another thing to keep track of on the Caleb watch of, him and Jaden Daniels and Drake May. But
I'll die on the hill that if the Bears would have taken Drake May, though, it would have been an absolute anarchy in Chicago.
It's over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, again, number 10 from North Carolina, drafted by a guy named Ryan P. Like, it would have been an absolute disaster. So we can't. It doesn't matter how good Drake May is. There was a 0% chance he was going to be taken by the Bears, just but for the look of it to the public. It's just a 0% chance.
And even if he was taken by the Bears, he would not be good in a Bears uniform.
No, he'd be terrible. He'd be out of the
league. He would have been nowhere near
Steelers quarterback. He'd be in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
That's, I mean, the best place he could have landed was where he landed. And then the last thing is my second favorite team finally found their stride back. No,
there you go.
Not my second favorite team. It's just
Philly Drew.
Again,
Philly Drew.
14 carries, 150 yards. Do you see the correlation of winning Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Like what the?
Yeah.
I know. Yes, Cam Scatteraboo got injured. We saw a lot of things in that game, but okay, direct correlation to winning and having success. Give your best player the ball. I know Jalen Hurts is good, but just feed that man.
You know who else got injured in that game, though, Drew? Is Saquon. Saquon came up with a hamstring injury late in the game. So something to monitor. We'll see how that is going to impact him. But he got yanked from the game late in the fourth quarter.
Confident he'll be available for the Eagles' next game Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was one of those situations that the game was kind of already out of hand. No reason to put him back in. If it was a close game, I'm sure he would have been back in there.
Yeah.
But one thing you didn't see in that Eagles game was a lot of A.J. Brown because he is losing his mind in Philadelphia, apparently. I don't know. Some about diva receivers, it's just always fun to talk about. It's just, I think they're going to trade him and they're going to get nothing for him and they're going to eat a lot of cap for him, but they're going to be a better team when he's gone because it's just every week he's got some Instagram stuff or he's reading a book on the sideline or something that's got to be a talking point for the whole week. That's just, it's he gives off Brandon Marshall vibes. He's a great player, but he has a shelf life, and I think we've reached the expiration date.
Well said. Well said. 100%.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to touch on around the league was, again, a parade of really shitty games. I think the shittiest one of the week could have been the Saints and the Bucks. That was just a slop fest. Yeah. That was one where I confidently said, "Hey, I like the Saints plus 4.5." And the reasons for that was I don't know if Baker's going to have a great game. And lo and behold, he didn't have a great game. The Bucks offense did not have a great game. But lo and behold, the Saints are so fucking bad. They had to yoink Spencer Rattler and put in Shuck?
Tyler Shuck.
Well, I think, oddly enough, Drew, I think they pronounce it Shuck, even though it's not spelled anything like that. I went on a deep dive YouTube video to see how he pronounces it. And it's embarrassing, but it is Shuck. But he sucked, and so the Bucks did everything that they could have done to try to let the Saints cover or let alone win, and they still got just absolutely pantsed. So, oops, and Nick, you said it perfectly. He's like, guys, this is a simple one. Saints suck. It's
not good.
Too much of a line. It's not enough of a line.
Tell me how you throw the ball 51 times for 227 yards.
Oh, God.
That's bad.
That's so bad.
That's bad.
I was actually, it's funny because I was thinking about putting Baker on the block in our dynasty league just because I need draft picks and I don't know if he's got any value right now. This is not the week to put him up on the block. I'm kind of maybe I'll hold on to that. But anyway, if you're listening, you want a quarterback, I am open.
He's open. Yeah. You're right. Buy hot, sell high. But I think that'll take us around the league for this week. And Nick, maybe I'll kick it back over to you for the podium list.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we get into the podium list, talk about some friends of ours over at Glen Rock Pop. The Barely Qualified podcast is proudly fueled by the fizz of Glen Rock Pop, Lake County's legendary soda revival. Crafted with pure cane sugar, poured into classic glass bottles, and bursting with nostalgic flavor, Glen Rock is more than a drink, it's a hometown icon. Whether you're sipping on orange, cream soda, or my personal MVP, the all-new lime, Glen Rock is bringing the joy back to every corner of Lake County. Do you want to catch their pop-up trailer in action? Follow Glenrock Pop on Facebook for their latest event stops. Ready to stock up? Head to glenrockpop.com to find retailers near you. From tailgates to game days, Glenrock Pop is the ultimate sideline sip. Don't just drink, celebrate. So, boys, we're kind of, Halloween is coming up, as you know from our previous 2 podium lists, but I think I do want to do one more because I think this one's a lot of fun. So we're doing the podium list of best Halloween costumes, and just to kind of give the rules, I guess, I don't know, like it can be a costume you've worn, it can be a costume you've seen, it can be a costume you did when you were a kid, when you were in college, whatever. Honestly, there's really not a lot of rules. Just have fun with it. Our order is going to be, so the gold is going to be J, Drew, Nick, and then silver is going to be Drew, Nick, J, and then bronze is going to be Nick, J, Drew. I believe I did that correctly this time. Drew will fact check me and make sure I did. But if I did, then that's where we're going to be. So, I'm excited for this one. It should be a lot of fun. We've spent a lot of Halloweens together, so I don't know if there's going to be any crossover there. But Jay, I'm going to kick it over to you. Why don't you lead us off?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'm going to take an angle here, and I'm going to give a little bit of a backstory on why I'm going to take this one, because I thought it was a little bit funny. So kids in kindergarten, Georgia, in kindergarten, Halloween week, and they have rules about what you can and can't wear. So it's like you can't wear anything like super gory. You can't bring like weapons and props that are going to be dangerous. Duh.
Right.
And so there's a lot of bullet points in this email that I got. And at the bottom is like, all right, don't do like, demon masks and serial killery stuff. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. We'll do that. You can't have excessive like glitter in your hair because it could get all over the place. So yeah, it makes sense. And then there was just one line that said, and you can't dress up like a clown. And I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck's the story behind this? like no clowns. Like what?
Jamie Ansley agrees with that.
Someone have like a fear of clowns. Like that's just the reason why.
Yeah, the principal just really afraid of clowns at this school.
Yeah. So I thought that was hilarious. So I'm taking really clowns. Clowns number 1. Bring clowns back. Let clowns be in the schools. Give me the clown for the 101.
Oh my gosh!
Oh,
you should just attempt that. Like, get as many people together as you can with your family at school drop off that day. Come out of your car like a clown car.
Walk around the school with a bunch of balloons and clowns pointing in. Hello.
You get the bicycle horn going off in the background.
Oh man!
Never said I couldn't dress up like a clown and stalk the kids.
Yeah. So good. Whoever that principal is.
Yeah. Not where I saw this going one over up. I liked it. So Drew, why don't you go ahead and take your gold pick?
Hey, whether it's gory or it's happy, clowns are always a good dress up. Never seen how they play in happiness and how they entertain kids so much, but yeah. Moving on to my 101, or my first pick is probably the funnest I've ever had dressing up for Halloween was as a referee.
Oh,
nice. Okay.
Back in high school, that was when there was the Bud Light refs back in those days.
Oh, yeah.
Where they would just throw flags for everything.
Yep.
So I think, was it me, you, Jay,
Jamie,
Brady?
I know it was me, you, and Jamie. I don't know if Brady was.
Okay, it might have been. Yeah,
I know Andrew was not. He was very pissed that he was not.
Yes, he was not invited. Not invited for it.
With certainty say he was not there.
But nothing made me laugh more, or made all of us laugh more, when you just throw a flag at random people in the hallways. I think Jamie did. It was either you or Jamie.
No, you were the king of it. You were flagging people for illegal PDAing.
Yes.
Public display of affection. People would be making out. You just boom, they'd get a flag right by their face. It was so good.
That was some fun time. So and
nice.
The Bud Light refs were a big inspiration for that one. So yeah, referee was my one overall.
Man, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that a lot. Okay, for my gold, I'm going to take a tried and true classic. It's nice to see costumes that I wore as a child that are still relevant. My kids have done this costume as well. I'm going to go with a Ninja Turtle.
Ooh.
And if you want to get specific, I was always a Leonardo guy. I know that's not the most popular pick, but I was always a Leo guy. So I'll take a Leonardo Ninja Turtle costume. But if I'm just gonna take Ninja Turtle, probably if I'm not being specific. But it's just, I don't know. That was my favorite show when I was a kid. I loved the Ninja Turtles, like as most of us our age did. And my sons both went as Ninja Turtles for Halloween 2 years ago. So it's just like a tried and true classic. Yeah. See girls a lot of times in college like dress up, like they put like backpacks on and like same color like headbands or whatever. So like it's just it's a good classic costume. So that's what I'm taking.
Man. It is. God, I was a turtle one time. I was a big Donatello guy. Purple stick. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everybody our age has probably been a Ninja Turtle at some point. So anyway, so all right, Silver, Drew, I'm gonna kick it over to you.
I've got a list of a few, and I'm trying to think if I want to go more of the commercial route that I've seen or one of my favorites that I've been. And I think I'm just gonna go commercial route.
Okay.
My nephews are obviously younger, and I hope my son loves superheroes. So I'm going to go with Spider-Man because Spider-Man is a classic no matter what age you are. He travels through the decades of ages. You could be young, you could be old. You could have the spandex suit, you could have the Miles Morales suit, anything. Spider-Man is just a classic for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're going to see, on Friday, you're going to see hundreds of Spider-Man walking through your eye. It should be that way. He's an iconic character. Yeah, that's great. If you're going to go superhero route, I think that's the way to go. Yeah. I do think. Honestly, I don't want to give picks away, but it's either Spider-Man or Batman. That's
I was going to say that's it. That's exactly what it is.
One of those two.
Yeah. Okay, so for my silver pick, I'm going to go with one more college age. And Jay, I hope this wasn't on your list because this is your idea and I copied you, but it was a lot of fun doing it this night. I'm going to take very niche, but I'm going to take Robert Goulet.
Yes. Yes.
Was that freshman year? It must have been, right?
It was freshman year. Yep.
Freshman year, Marquette, me, Jay, and Jamie, all three of us went as Robert Goulet, and we're just Gouleting all night. And we were crooning. It was a lot of fun, a lot of crooning. Somewhere there's a picture of it. I think one of the girls we used to be friends with took it, and it's gone because they got rid of all their college drunk pictures on Facebook, apparently. So, but anyway, great picture. I had the CD I made where I wrote. Yeah. I took a CD that I actually had because we still had CDs in 2006, and I took a piece of paper and wrote "Coconut Bangers Ball." It's a rap on it, and I would bring it around with me. Just a lot of Goulets.
Goulet. Crooning, martinis, goulets. Nick would just pull out the CD. Oh, have you seen my newest release?
It's a rap.
It's a rap. That's such a good one.
That was so much fun.
I had way too much fun. We had so much fun with that. That was a great call.
One out of every 10 people really got it because even then it was kind of dated.
Right.
That sketch was probably 4 years old at that point, when we did it.
But if they got it, boy, did they get it.
Yeah. Yes, they did. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, all right, Jay, why don't you go ahead and give us your silver?
Cool. I will do a silver. I will throw out. There's probably too much of a blanket, but Star Wars, I'm thinking specifically back in the day when Phantom Menace and whatnot came out, or in those re-releases, but the Anakin Skywalker, when we were in middle school, that was probably one of my favorite Halloween costumes I've ever had. I had the little hair extension piece. It was awesome.
Little rat tail?
Yeah, a little rat tail thing. You got some, a lightsaber that you got to walk around trick or treat with too. So that one always is near and dear to my heart. So I don't know if I'm allowed to take the whole category of Star Wars. That seems aggressive. If we want to isolate it, it's Anakin. Those are great because kids are still walking around today with those with the reboots and everything. It's classic. It's tried and true.
Yeah, absolutely, can't go wrong. I went as a Jedi for Halloween last year.
Hell yeah.
Because my kid went as the Mandalorian, so I'm like, I'll do Star Wars. I had an old Jedi costume from when I was in college, I think. But anyway,
Any excuse to give yourself a weapon.
Yeah, any excuse to walk around with a lightsaber and a cape, I'm going to take it. So, or a cloak, I should say. But anyway, all right, yeah, no, that's a great pick. I'm going to go into my bronze now, and this is going to get a little bit more. I took the very commercial pick, also nostalgic for me and my kids. So the first pick, I took my personal favorite, like one of the more fun Halloweens I've had, with freshman year Robert Goulet. I'm going to go with one. This is like, again, very niche, but when I was a senior in high school, me and the girl I was seeing at the time, we went as each other for Halloween. So I'm going to say a girl or a member of the opposite sex or whatever you want to call it. It was a lot of fun. If I can find the picture, I will put it in like the thumbnail of like this graphic that I put out. It's a lot of fun. I don't know if I might still have it somewhere. So it was a lot of fun.
I can see you looking good in drag.
Yeah. Got a lot of laughs. We got a lot of laughs at that party. It was fun.
That is fun, man. You gotta dig up that picture. I gotta see what you look like as a woman.
If I can find it, I'm gonna actually, I think I might know where it is. I'm gonna look right after the show and see if I can find it.
Good. Did you have a wig? Were you blonde?
Right. Yeah, blonde fantastic. Wig, of course. Blonde wig, wore a dress, all the above. So it was good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, Jay, your bronze pick.
All right, my bronze pick last year actually went trick-or-treating. Me and Margaret went as parrot heads in the Jimmy Buffett clan. So I had the grass skirt, coconut bra. It was a great excuse to have some Mai Tais and some island drinks while trick-or-treating with the kids. Got to play some Jimmy Buffett music along the way too in the wagon we were pulling them with. So that was fun. It was fun. Tessa went as a parrot. It was great. So we were all in the same kind of vibe. It was freezing and we found
I was gonna say it was a little chilly last year on Halloween, but
we made it a half a block until we came back home and started continuing to pour drinks. So yep.
That's good. That's good stuff.
You gotta be wasted away in Margaritaville. Love it. All right, I'll round us off.
Yeah,
I actually transitioned to this because I've been thinking about this through the last 4 picks of you guys, and I love when I see these happen, and it's going to be my last pick. You can hyper focus me if you want into this one, but I'm going to say when kids dress up as, or when somebody dresses up as the current president, most recently, when anyone dresses up as Trump, I'm laughing my ass off when they try to just copy that man. I mean, Obama was great, Bush was great, Clinton's great. Any of those presidents, and especially when kids do, because when you see a smaller person in a suit dressed up as like the most important person of your nation, it just makes me laugh every time.
No, that's really funny.
Yeah. The Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky pair for Halloween dress up is pretty funny too.
Yeah. It's really got some staying power too. I mean, we're talking about 30 years at this point almost of that being a relevant costume that you see at every Halloween like couples party.
Yeah.
That's good. That was fun. Appreciate you guys indulging me one more time for Halloween stuff. So, so this that was our podium list. I'll put together the graphic. Hopefully, I'll find that picture of me as a blonde chick in high school, and I'll send it out. That was fun. So that's going to pretty much wrap up the show. I'm going to go ahead and kick it on the horn one last time so we can give us our closing thoughts on the week. So, Jay, why don't we start with you? What do you got on your mind?
Yeah. So this past week I went 1-6 on bets on Sunday. So not great, but the one that hit was a mid-shot parlay from the Bears game that I got boosted at 100% boost, and I put like 2 units on it. So it ended up paying, it put me very profitable for the week. But it came down to, it was Caleb 220 yards passing, DeAndre Swift 40 yards rushing, Tyler Huntley 170 yards. So all of these things just kind of barely clipped, and Caleb ended up surpassing that by a lot.
Yeah.
But Huntley and DeAndre were pretty close. The end of the game, Derrick Henry had 69 yards rushing on their last possession. And who was in rushing the football, but who was the guy that you picked up that you were talking about?
Keaton Mitchell.
And he was like, I'm watching it like, this is why you're up by a touchdown, run off the clock, just put Henry in, and it was Mitchell. And then Huntley's running it. Huntley's passing it. I'm like, I'm not going to hit this damn thing. And then finally, they're at the 2-yard line. Derrick Henry runs right up the middle, gets pinballed back 5 yards, and then busted around the edge to break the plane. And I was like, thank God. So that one hit, and I was sweating my ass off to the finish line. But man, sometimes those parlays when they hit, it's unlike anything else when they do, especially with that 100% boost. So I don't know. Not trying to brag though, but it was electric. My heart was racing. Me and Sam were in on the bet together, and we were going nuts. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I rode that bet with you as well, and I put all of the profits from that on the Steelers to cover on Sunday Night Football, which again kind of led to my little spiral for a minute there on Sunday evening. We've recovered, we're good now, but yeah, definitely was having some dark thoughts about football for a minute there on Sunday night.
Was it a Go Chiefs moment on Monday night for you?
No, it was I didn't have any money in the game tonight. I just didn't. Yeah,
we recovered mentally. We recovered mentally.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. I still haven't. Yeah, I haven't. That was literally I emptied the clip on the. I lost a lot of bets on Sunday like you did, and then I hit that parlay like you did. The only money in my account was the winnings from that parlay, so I put all of the money. I was so confident in the Steelers. I put all of the money on the parlay on the Steelers, and then it lost. And so my account's at 0 right now. So I haven't re-upped it yet. Once I do, I'll be fine. But
the other bet that I rode yours on National Tight Ends Day, and it was like Goddard and another tight end, and then it was Mark Andrews. And so in that game, I'm seeing Huntley connects with some white big tight end running across the middle. Like, yes, who the fuck's 88?
Kohler, fucking
Brutal.
Kohler. We got Kohlered. Got fucking Kohler.
Score.
Yep.
Anyway, all right. So, yeah, Drew, what do you got for your closing thoughts?
Well, it was kind of surrounding. I'm glad Jay touched on it and you guys touched on it. It was kind of surrounding that, and then also what's going on right now in live sports. We are in a sports equinox right now, as we've seen everywhere. And it's easy to overextend yourself in the gambling, the watching, the talking about, but there is only one sports equinox a year. So if this is the time to feel a little uncomfortable about certain things other than sports, do it. You should. Basketball has been somewhat fun, although there are gambling rings that are trying to sink us. Hockey is doing their thing. Obviously, we're in the World Series right now in
great game going on right now.
What?
Great game going on right now.
Oh, yeah. Great game. And then you have, obviously, the NFL. So just involve yourself however you possibly can, because sports give us joy. If the gambling does get a little too much, it's good to take breaks from it to get back in. But guess what? You are just ever closer every second that ticks away to your next win. So just know that it is right around the corner whenever you can to get closer to placing that bet. Obviously, don't wreck your mortgages. Don't wreck all of these things, your car payments. Just have fun while you're betting and do it to enjoy the games that you're watching. But there's only one sports equinox a year, and we're in it right now. So just experience that to the best that you can. Yeah.
Absolutely. The only way you can ever lose if you stop, right?
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. No.
Something like that.
No, that's no. Exactly.
Loser's mentality is quitting.
That's right. All right. So my closing thought is a little awkward. I was today actually. I got off work. I was with the kids by myself. And honestly, I probably shouldn't even tell the story on a podcast, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm a little ashamed of it, but it is what it is. I came in the back. I'm painting my front door right now. So I was doing that. The kids were in the family room watching TV or playing or something, and I wasn't really paying attention. And I came back, and when I went back there, I discovered that they were playing soccer, and it really embarrassed me. And I don't like that. So, I don't know if anyone knows any any way to like help or like intervene to like stop them from playing soccer, I'd appreciate some DMs or something, but need to get them out of that. No, that's it. I don't know. I thought that would be funny. So it's just, they were playing soccer, but yeah, whatever.
Hockey, get them some sticks. Tell them to beat each other over their heads with it.
Absolutely. Hockey is such an expensive sport. I'm not getting my kids into hockey.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Soccer, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like soccer is a great sport because it literally costs like a nickel to play soccer. Like it's great.
Might as well get them to fucking run track though. Like,
yeah, right.
That's it. Cross country or track.
Yeah.
You don't need to kick a ball while you do it. Just run long distances.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. That's funny, dude.
Yeah, but all right. Well, anyway, that's going to do it for us here at the Barely Qualified podcast. So for Drew Bailey and Jason Maxwell, I'm Nick Lavris. Thanks for listening. And as always, we will catch you on the flip side.
Thank you for listening to the Barely Qualified podcast. Like, comment, subscribe for more on a bi-weekly basis.